Recovering stolen seeds from a tree of life and activation of a sleeping giant in Iraq. On the evening of November 1st, my US Army source JP told me about another giant in a stasis chamber that had been discovered in Iraq, who was a king in ancient times. He explained that there was a significant connection with the giant in the stasis chamber found in Florida, who was also a former king, and JP made a further connection to a third sleeping giant in an underwater city in the Bermuda Triangle that he visited during one of his covert missions in late August 2022. JP also said that the seeds from a tree of life located next to the sleeping giant in Florida, later identified as Ningish Zida, which had been stolen from US military control and taken to England on the orders of the new British sovereign, King Charles, had been found and would be returned. The seeds, however, needed to be first taken to Iraq for an activation of the newly discovered giant there. As was discussed in a previous video, the activation process for the giant in the Florida cave had taken place at the recently completed Galactic Spiritual Informers Connection event in Orlando. What follows is the recording of the conversation I had with JP on November 1st.
You are listening to Exopolitics Today with Dr. Michael Salla, your source for the uncensored truth regarding the human, extraterrestrial, global, and political agenda. Click the like button and subscribe to this channel. And now, here's Dr. Michael Salla.
Well, I'm here with JP, who has an update about the missing seeds from the Florida underground cavern civilization that he visited and on 2 occasions with missions, and he has some more information about the missing seeds that were taken out of the US to England, and he knows a little bit more about that. So welcome, JP, and tell us what have you learned?
How you doing, Doc? We learned that we caught this person that is, people are not saying that is human. We caught him and they were interrogating him, and they're gonna bring him back to the States. And bringing him back to the States, we're taking the seeds with somebody else is gonna be with us, but we're taking the seeds. I don't know if they got in a type of agreement with England with the seeds and catching this character. They're going over there. I think they're going with the kingdom, like with people from that's in charge of the kingdom. So I don't know if we came in agreement to not. I don't think we're working with them, but I know the seeds is in our possessions again. The place that we were guarding over here in Florida, the Springs, it's open again. They were guarding it, but now it's open again. It's freely open. So they're actually taking these seeds to Iraq, in the middle of Iraq, to do some type of, I'm not going to say like a ritual, or they have to like take it somewhere. They're saying that there's another sleeping king over there that is in stasis.
So just for those that maybe aren't quite clear what seeds we're talking about, these are the seeds from the tree of life that is located in a location in Florida that we can't talk about. And there's a sleeping giant there that we've identified as Ningish Zida, who is also known as Quetzalcoatl, Viracocha, and Kukulkan. And so these seeds and that giant, now there's some kind of connection with another giant king in Iraq, somewhere between the 2 rivers. Well, that whole area, Mesopotamia, is the land between 2 rivers, Iraq. So I guess we're talking about the Euphrates and the Tigray rivers.
Well, I know it's somewhere in the middle of Iraq, in the middle of Iraq, in between two major rivers that run through there. They're gonna take these seeds over there, and they're gonna like really, I don't know if there's an ark there. I'm getting a feeling that there probably is an ark there, but I'm not sure until tomorrow when I get more information. and we probably do a mission. It's kind of warming up right now, in Brazil. In Brazil, also the arc in Brazil is warming up right now, and we all know the situation in Brazil right now. What's happening? Also,
Okay, well, that's interesting. I know you've mentioned that there are 9 arcs that you know of, and you identified one in Caldas Nevas,
Caldas Novas.
Caldas Novas,
Yeah,
in kind of like that's not that far from the capital, Brasilia.
it's not. It's not that far from the capital. And right now in Brazil, the military might take over the presidency over there because I think Lula, he is an ex-con, and he was in jail, I think for quite a long time, and now he's president. But now something is happening to the arc over there that is warming up. But going back to the seeds over there in Iraq, they're gonna do. I don't know if they're gonna take it to a machine, these seeds, and like activate them. I think there's an activation process, and I think that's what over there in England that they were trying to do that and explain that to us, but we wasn't getting it. So they're gonna do an activation. This is also gonna activate certain things around the world. When I guess when these seeds are activated in a certain way, is going to activate some arcs around the world really, really big.
Okay, so you're saying that there's some connection between these space arcs that have been activating around the planet because these seeder fleets have arrived into our solar system,
Hmm.
kind of like middle of last year, and that these seeds from this tree of life that was taken from Florida to England and is now on its way to Iraq, that somehow those seeds are connected to the arcs. Can you explain more the connection?
They're connected to the arcs, so these seeds are connected with the arc somehow. When I say seeds, Doc, it's not only plants; it is also blood, or how can I say this in the proper way? This might sound strange, but semen. It is considered a seed. Remember, I told you that they were giving also tube filled with a liquid
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that went with the seeds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually, I know this probably sounds far fetched, but people would understand that bloodline is really important in any situation. It's actually semen. I don't know how people are going to get this, but you probably understand what I'm trying to say.
Now, this is genetic material from the giant himself.
Yes, it's also his genetic material. When I say seeds, it's not only the tree of life type of seed. It's also genetic seeds as well. Biological, any kind of seed. I know they gave certain animal species, plant species, and as I'm not saying that this is probably okay. Let's just leave it right there. I don't know what's gonna happen from there, but yeah, it's semen. It's actually semen. So they're taking these. You asked me how is this connected to the arcs? The way people activate the arcs, the way when you enter into the arc, a certain person can activate it by entering the arc, like the Aztec Mexicans that entered the arc, or a person like myself, or a person, like Charles or Elena, a person that has a DNA to activate arcs. So by taking these seeds, I'm going to call them seeds to be polite. If you also take these seeds with you to the arc, it'll activate it. That's quite interesting.
Yeah, that is. I know Elena has said that activating the arcs has been a high priority for the Dark Alliance when they find them, but that they need both the genetic material of the crew as well as the soul vibration. So it's not just a matter of cloning a body and sending it
Yeah.
in there, that
Yeah.
they need the soul vibration as well.
But now they're trying to activate. these seeds over there in Iraq with some other sleeping giant. I don't know if whoever's protecting that particular giant, I don't know which civilization is protecting that giant, but I heard that the people that protect the giant over there in Iraq, they're really, really aggressive. They're really protective. And they will die before anybody gets to this giant. So they only let certain people in, people with bloodline in. So I think they came in a type of agreement to go with whoever is in England to Iraq to activate these seeds. And when these seeds activate, the weather's going to get crazy. It's going to be insane because the arc are activating as well. They're turning hot. So right now, the one in Brazil is really getting hot. Right now, if you look at what's happening in Brazil, there's a massive arrest happening. So I won't be surprised if something huge appears in the skies of Brazil
So,
when
so,
everybody is outside right now.
so what do you know of those protecting the giant in Iraq? I mean, you described ant people protecting the one in Florida. Sorry, protecting the giant, the sleeping giant in Iraq.
Mhm.
There were ant people protecting the sleeping giant in Florida. What about in Iraq? You said that they were ferocious. So are we talking some other? Are we talking about a non-human race, kind of like a secret society? Who's protecting the sleeping giant in Iraq?
I can't tell you because I do not know who it is, but all they told me is that they're aggressive. And if anybody that does not have the DNA to get in those chambers or those caves that are over there, they will retaliate and they will protect the king that is in stasis over there. Because this king over there, he's really important as well, Doc. He is as important as this king in Florida.
Interesting. So you said something about the seeds after being taken to Iraq would be brought back to the United States.
Yes,
Could-
they
could-
will be bringing back. I don't know if they're gonna leave some over there just to get access to whoever's protecting. I think they need to show like a type of proof to enter, like a passport. Like you're entering a place that needs proof that you are valid to be in there. After they do that, they're gonna bring the seeds back to the United States. And now, in this particular moment, they're doing a type of negotiations with the ant people to have access again into the cave system over here. So that is and also that's also interesting what's happening over here as well. I guess they're keeping everything up to date now. What's happening with the seeds and with the ant people, they're giving them like time by time what's happening, what's the mission, and what's happening. They left different type of ETs protecting each sleeping giant that is in stasis. So each one does not know about each other, but they do know about the king that is in stasis that they're protecting. There's also somebody also that is sleeping inside the Atlantic city that's protected by these tall ET looking humanoids that when we went to the um, Atlantic Navy ship over there to go down to the city as well. So now everything is coming together of how I'm understanding this.
Okay. Now you said during your first mission to this underground cavern in Florida that the seeds were taken by two guys,
Mm-hmm.
two to England,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them is an ET or was caught. And yes, so well, can you say more about the two that took it to England and one being an ET and being caught?
Well, they're interrogating this guy. They brought that ET back to United States and they were interrogating him until we got access over there and we got the seats back. But they left a person in charge as well over there to be with the seeds. as well, because they're quite connected to the seeds. So they said that they have the right to be wherever these seeds are because they're connected to these seeds.
Who's saying that? The ET that took them to England says that he has the right.
No, no. The people in England, the you know who I'm trying to say.
Right, right. The new crown, the new sovereign over there.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess we'll get a little more clarity when you do your new mission. But as you were saying, there seems to be a lot of connections now
Hmm.
between the different missions you've done, and that there's a connection now with those with that underground city in the Bermuda Triangle you visited, kind of like ET looking beings down there. Anything you want to finish off with? I mean, when can we expect these seeds being returned to the US, and who's going to be in control? Will it be the military? Will it be a corporation? The Freemasons? Who's going to be in control of those seeds?
The military is going to be in control. The
Okay.
military will be in control. What happened was that this person was contracted to do these missions with us. There's
Mm.
always contractors that we contract. That is there's always smart people out there, but we just happy to contracted the wrong person. There happened to be a double type of agent type of crap or shit that happened. So shit hit the fan and we fixed it. We got it back, but we're still doing that process of activating the seeds in Iraq in between these two rivers over there.
Mm. Okay, so just kind of like going back to Brazil, you were saying that the election outcome there is being contested, and that somehow this is connected to the activating arc
I
in.
don't know if there's something negative in the air right now in Brazil. There's something negative. You mind if I say something in Portuguese?
Sure.
Para todos os brasileiros lá no Brasil, aí a gente tem fé que tudo vai dar certo lá. Fica em paz e fica na rua lutando por seus direitos, tá? What I basically say is to the people in Brazil, make sure you fight for the freedom that you guys deserve and keep a positive. I'm not trying to make this political, Doc.
Mhm.
I'm just trying right now because there's something negative in Brazil right now that's happening, and it's connected to everything that's happening around the world.
Yeah, well, certainly that there are suspicions about the Brazil election being stolen, using these voting machines, and certainly it seems that Bolsonaro's party actually won. There's a lot of parliamentarians, more than expected, won, and so people are saying, well, how could that be? That his party won the elections, but he lost the presidential. So, and that raises the question, well, then is it because this arc is activating now and they want to get control of it?
There's a possibility that that's happening. They want control of this arc, but the military they also have a lot of white hats in the military down there, and the white hats are all over the world working at once. Um, for the positive love to be spread around the world and to fight the good fight and to have this freedom that we need, Doc. And I know that over here, overseas, all around the world, that everybody is really has a negative thing going on right now around the world that is affecting everybody. And I think these people that are in the dark side, they're taking advantage of that. And they're doing all these things just to try to win do what they always wanted to do. But I know that in the end of times that we're gonna come out prosperous and we're gonna come out in light, Doc.
Mhm.
That's what I believe.
Well, thank you. That's very important. Good to keep positive about the future. And I know there are some people that always say, uh, for you to kind of like say a little bit more about yourself or to describe more about your military service. Anything you want to kind of finish off in terms of your military service?
I really respect this this country, and I'm serving because I love this country and I believe in what this country was built on. I'm over here in Florida and I'm serving, Doc. I don't know like what you want me to say.
No, that's good. Just just to reaffirm for people that maybe you know uh, needing to hear more about your background, that you're currently serving with the U.S. Army, and you do these missions, and uh, they're part of it, kind of like a temporary assignment, TDY. You're called away, and from your regular position, and we probably don't want to talk too much about your regular job because that might make it easier to
Yeah.
be identified, but you're called away from your regular uh, position and taken into these covert missions.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. I think people need to understand more about the spiritual part of all this, and start getting into their spiritual part in life and meditate meditation and do whatever you need to do to get closer to the to whatever positivity in this beautiful world that we're in. If I could tell people something is get more spiritual. Be careful what you eat. Try to meditate more. Meditation is key. Find a spot around your house, or if you live somewhere beautiful, go and take 30 or 40 or maybe 1 hour or 2 hours and meditate and use your body to bring all this positivity to your way and to always be happy and do good to others. Look at this, what's happening in a spiritual way. That's how I see this. I'm not here for no reason. I started getting my experience and I started taking video and pictures, and these ETs started connecting with me and I started connecting with them. Some ETs I connected telepathically, and it was really awesome. The experience, I believe if people start getting more spiritual, they will have these contacts the same way I've been having, Doc. And that's why I really want to tell people see this in this spiritual way. You know, it's a war that we're not seeing, but a lot of people are feeling. So I want to leave it on that, Doc.
JP, that's the very wise words to finish on. Good
Roger
luck
that.
mission.
Thank you.
After informing Elena Danan about JP's latest update, I asked her if Thorhan Eregian from the Galactic Federation of Worlds had any additional information to share about the sleeping Iraq giant. This is what Elena wrote to me. I asked Thorhan about JP's intel, and he replied that he believes that this Iraq giant is another of Enki's scientist team. He said this Iraq giant guards the Hall of Records linked to the Bujeji and Tibet, and that there is an ark there as well, with highly advanced and powerful technology. He employs the term quantum holographic for some of the tech there. The Earth Alliance military has it secured since only recently. Thorhan added that the war in Iraq was about it. He said that more giants should come to our awareness soon, but he does not have the clearance to disclose precise locations. Thorhan just added that I need to tell you that this place in Iraq is, quote, the center of the web, end quote. Thorhan's information corroborates key aspects of what JP was told about the importance of the newly discovered sleeping stasis giant in Iraq. Significantly, JP was given the geographic coordinates of the sleeping giant in Iraq, which are 32 degrees 7 minutes 35 seconds north and 45 degrees 14 minutes 0 seconds east. Google Maps show that this is adjacent to the ancient Sumerian city of Nippur, which was known as a center for the worship of Enlil and his son Ninurta. This would mean that any technology hidden there would have been among the most sophisticated and advanced possessed by the Anunnaki. The geographic coordinates given to JP corroborates what Thorhan said about the place in Iraq being the center of the web. Thorhan revealed in a previous communication that there were a total of 7 Anunnaki scientists that went into stasis chambers to await a new cyclic era or the return of their leader, Enki, Prince Ea. It's possible that one of these was previously associated with Enlil or Ninurta and had defected to Enki's faction, thereby choosing to go into a stasis chamber located in the hub of where the most advanced Anunnaki technology was located. My above analysis was subsequently confirmed by Thorhan, who gave the name of the sleeping Iraq giant as Aruna, and gave the following information about him as relayed through Elena. Quote, Chief Engineer for Advanced Craft Technologies, who worked for Enlil at first. He switched sides in the end to join Enki's cause and work with him. The technology kept there is very important and much prized. There is also a buried Stargate not far. There is a tremendous lot of military presence around this area. Nippur was the center of operations for Enlil during a long period, and there was a spaceport there. Some ships are still there. End quote. It does appear that humanity has arrived at a critical historical point where the stasis giants are being activated. The scientific, alchemical, and historical knowledge possessed by these Anunnaki scientists is highly likely to make a very significant contribution to humanity's development and integration into the galactic community. On December 3rd, I will be holding my final webinar for 2022. The topic will be Enki's return, restoring Adamic DNA, Tree of Life, and awakening giants. I will be going into much more detail about what is known of stasis giants and the Tree of Life, and discuss the latest updates with a special panel featuring Elena Danan and Alex Collier. More information is available at exopolitics.org.
You have been listening to Exopolitics Today with Dr. Michael Salla. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Join or start a conversation in the comments. Take the time to explore the vast library of best-selling books, webinars, and podcasts by Dr. Salla. Visit exopoliticstoday.com.